Welcome to the Joy Inspired podcast. I'm Nikki Cruise, and I'm thrilled to explore with you what it means to walk in a faith-infused business. This is your space to find powerful tools and insights to build with resilience and to create impact through your unique purpose, discovering a joy that only God can provide. Together, let's embrace a business journey anchored in faith and empowered by joy. Let's jump in. Hey friends, welcome back to the Joy Inspired podcast. This is the place where we infuse faith into our business and where we find that resilient joy in that wild entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Nikki Cruise, and today we're diving into something that is crucial. Yes, it's about setting goals, which is crucial, but more importantly, setting God-honoring goals in our business. Let's get real. Setting goals is great, but if they're not aligned with God's purpose for your life, you might be just running on that hamster wheel. So grab your coffee, your journal, and maybe even that fancy highlighter, and let's do this. Are you ready to take notes? I'm going to put my book down that I've been reading, Empowerment Strategies for Lasting Impact by a number of other leaders and myself, because one of my goals is to empower myself to empower others. But how does that goal fit in? Why does it matter if our goals are aligned with our purpose and, in fact, if they honor God? So let's start with the basics here. Why does that even matter? As I said, can't we just set some smart goals and call it a day, get on with it and get it done? Here's the thing. When we pursue goals without asking God's direction, we might achieve success in the world's eyes, but we'll end up feeling empty inside. And let's be honest, who wants to climb a ladder only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall? I've done it. Have you? Proverbs 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Isn't that beautiful? It takes so much pressure off the planning when we wait on God. But notice it says we're called to commit our plans to him first, not after we've already mapped out everything and just want him to rubber stamp and approve it. That one hit me too. And so often we think we know what we need to do and what we get to do. We don't ask God, we just go ahead. So a couple of questions that we get to ask ourselves is, firstly, am I seeking God's guidance before setting this goal? Or am I just asking him to bless it once I've already decided? The next one is, does this goal that I'm setting reflect God's heart and values? Or is it just about my personal ambition, my ego? Next one is, will achieving this particular goal draw me closer to God, or will it draw me further away? So often a goal seems like a fantastic one. Perhaps it's committing to do a certain project. But while you're doing that project, if that goal is taking you away from your time with the Lord and it's interfering and severing that relationship, we get to reevaluate it. Will it draw us closer to God, or will it push us further away? Sometimes those goals are even what we consider godly goals. Doing the right thing, serving other people, but are we serving God first? So that's all good and well, but how do we actually know if a goal honors God? We get to make it a little more practical so that we're not just guessing and making a goal and waiting to see what happens. How do we know if it honors God? Well, let's check against three key areas: purpose, people, and peace. Don't you love those please? Purpose. Does it actually align with the purpose that God has given you? People. Does it in fact serve and bless other people? Or are you the only one who it's serving? And peace. Do you actually have a sense of God's peace about it? Is it still stressful? Is it still striving and a grind? Sometimes we have to work hard at something, but when it's stressful or a grind and that outweighs the peace and benefits, another point to reevaluate. Matthew 6:33 says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these other things will be given to you as well. If you set God-honoring goals, goals rooted in kingdom first, you're on the right track. But if it's more about you, I set a goal that's more about me first, kingdom second, well, Houston, we have a problem. So to make it more realistic and relatable, let's say you're launching a coaching program. A self-serving goal might be, I want to hit 6 figures in 12 months. There's nothing wrong with that. That ambition, there's nothing wrong with. However, a God-honoring goal would be, I want to build a program that transforms lives, equips women with biblical wisdom, and generates income needed to expand the kingdom works. Do you see the difference? Now, when you set that God-honoring goal, you can be working towards achieving the 6 figures in 12 months. That still honors God. But if it's all about the 6 figures and not about the kingdom, or if achieving those 6 figures you do at the expense of honoring God, well, you know I'm going to say it, reevaluate. How do we actually go about setting these goals? Because, yeah, this sounds great in theory. Here's a framework you can use when setting God honoring goals. It's the GOD method. Because, you know, acronyms make everything so much more fun. If you haven't noticed, I love them. Jump. So, glorify God. B is the first one. Who is it glorifying, God or me? Second one, the O, for obedience. Is this goal in obedience to something that God has actually called me to do? And the D, dependence. Who are you relying on to accomplish this goal? Are you relying on God? Are you trying to do it in your own strength? And boy, have I made that mistake. I've tried to achieve things in my own strength, become weary, become worn out, wanted to throw my hands up and give up, especially if it's not aligned with my calling or purpose. Again, Psalm 37:5 says, commit your way to the Lord. Trust him, and he will do this. Okay, so my goal is to become an instant Instagram influencer, and I'm spending more time perfecting my selfie game. Don't think that means that much work. What do you think? I'm joking, folks. And it takes more time than I'm dedicating to my prayer life. Yeah, we might need to revisit that one, and you got it, reevaluate. All of this is all good and well, but I can almost hear the questions. But Nikki, what if I fail? What if I don't reach my goals? Here's the truth. If you're walking in obedience, there's no such thing as failure, only learning. Sometimes God does reroute us. that doesn't mean he's abandoned us. We don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. We get to go in obedience. And what if we trip? Guess what? God's grace is there to catch us. It tells us in Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. He will be there if you trip, but he's absolutely there, holding a hand out to help you take the first step of obedience. A couple of other questions we can ask ourselves when setting goals. Is this goal rooted in faith or fear? Are you doing something and setting a goal out of desperation? Or is it because you believe God will provide? And when you do that, are you trusting God with the outcome? Or are you just trying to control it yourself? When we put our fingers in the way, it's often more difficult for God to work. We get to ask him how much we should be influencing this and how much we should be stepping back. And often our gut tells us exactly that. So if the goal doesn't go as planned, oh, and this is something I have done often, and I've had to learn, and I still have to catch myself. When things don't go as planned, do I take over and take control, or will I still trust in God's goodness for it? It's so important that just because it didn't go as planned doesn't mean you have to take over. Let's face it, God is so much better at all of this than we are. And just because we can't see how he's doing it doesn't mean we don't get to have the faith or be obedient. So I've said a lot has come out here. This was a good one. So as you sit down and set your business goals, I want to challenge you. Pray first, seek God's wisdom, and ask yourself the hard questions. And remember, when your goals are aligned with God and with the purpose he's called you to, success isn't just about numbers or finances. It's about the impact, and the rest will come. If this episode has blessed you and you know other entrepreneurs who need to hear this, who need to be hearing how to align their business and their calling and use their businesses with faith, please share it. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps us spread kingdom wisdom. And be sure to look out in the show notes for the gift that I've dropped for you to download. So love you all. Until next time, keep joyfully unleashing a more powerful purpose with God-honoring goals. Thank you so much for joining me on the Joy Inspired Podcast at www.joyinspiredpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming and you don't want to miss it. So make sure to hit that subscribe. I am so grateful for all the reviews and comments, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.